There's a penalty kick by Lionel Messi that, according to countless fans and some very suspicious records, FIFA somehow made vanish from official football history. It's not just a forgotten moment, it's an active erasure, a statistical ghost haunting one of the greatest careers the sport has ever seen. We're not talking about a missed penalty that nobody remembers. This is a goal, clearly scored, that simply no longer exists in certain archives. The implications are baffling, bordering on the absurd, making you question just how meticulously history is truly preserved in the beautiful game. The whispers began years ago, a persistent hum amongst the most dedicated football fanatics, long before it broke through to the wider consciousness. They spoke of a specific match, a seemingly innocuous international friendly that took place in a rather unremarkable stadium. It was late in the season, during a time when Messi was already a global phenomenon, but perhaps not yet the undisputed GOAT he would become. Argentina was playing against a respectable but not top-tier European national team. The stakes were technically low, yes, but for Messi, every single game, every single moment on the pitch carried the weight of expectation. He was chasing records, sure, but more than that, he was chasing perfection. That day, the atmosphere was electric, as it always was when Messi graced the pitch, even for a friendly. The stands were packed, a sea of blue and white, with pockets of opposition fans trying to make their voices heard. The air was thick with anticipation, the smell of freshly cut grass mingling with the buzz of the crowd. Messi was, as usual, the focal point. He weaved, he danced, he pulled defenders out of position with an almost effortless grace. He wasn't having his most spectacular game, but he was consistently dangerous, a constant threat simmering beneath the surface. You could feel the tension building, the collective yearning for that moment of individual brilliance. Then it happened. Just past the hour mark, Messi picked up the ball deep in his own half, embarking on one of those trademark slaloming runs. He bypassed one defender, then another, accelerating into the opposition box. The third defender, desperate, lunged in a tackle that was, to put it mildly, ill-timed. It was a clear trip, an obvious foul, and the referee, without hesitation, pointed to the spot. The whistle shrieked, cutting through the stadium noise, and a collective groan erupted from the defending team's fans, quickly drowned out by the roar of the Argentinian supporters. A penalty for Argentina. A penalty for Messi. He placed the ball with that familiar, almost ritualistic precision. The opposing goalkeeper, a solid but not world-beating shot stopper, tried to get into his head, bouncing on his toes, stretching his arms wide. But Messi was a picture of calm, his gaze fixed, unwavering. We've all seen it countless times. The short run-up, the subtle feint, the clinical strike. This time, he sent the keeper the wrong way, a classic placement, low and hard into the bottom left corner. The net rippled. The crowd erupted, a deafening explosion of joy. It was a goal, a clean, undeniable goal, adding to his burgeoning tally for his national team. Commentators confirmed it. The scoreboard updated, the match continued. There was no controversy, no disallowance, no VAR review. It was just a goal. For years, that goal existed in the collective memory of those who watched it. It was part of Messi's career statistics, listed in match reports, celebrated in highlight reels. It added to his legend, another stone in the colossal monument of his achievements. But then, quietly, insidiously, something began to shift. Fans, particularly those obsessive statisticians who track every kick, every pass, every goal of their heroes, started noticing a discrepancy. A goal they vividly remembered, a goal they had seen with their own eyes, was slowly, subtly disappearing from certain official records. Initially, it was just a few isolated cases. A minor statistical website omitting it, an updated career tally on a less reputable sports news outlet, but then the absence started appearing in more authoritative places. Official match reports updated years later seemed to skip over it. Comprehensive databases, those digital bibles of football statistics, began reflecting a lower number for Messi's international penalties scored. It was like a ripple effect, a quiet digital cleansing that slowly but surely erased the penalty from official narratives. The memory remained, but the proof was vanishing. If you're already scratching your head wondering how something like this could even happen, hit that like button. It tells us you're just as fascinated by these hidden football stories as we are, and it helps us bring more of them to light. The official narrative, as presented by governing bodies like FIFA, became the version where that penalty never existed. The scoreline for that specific match, in their archives, sometimes reflected a different result, Or the goal was simply attributed to another player, an inexplicable error that went uncorrected or perhaps was never meant to be corrected. This wasn't just a simple clerical mistake, it felt too systematic, too pervasive, impacting multiple data sources simultaneously. It begged the question, if something so clear, so undeniably witnessed by thousands, could be scrubbed from the books, what else might have been subtly altered? The online football community, ever vigilant, erupted. Forums buzzed, Reddit threads gained hundreds of comments, and Twitter, now X, became a battleground of evidence and speculation. Fans dug deep. They pulled up old newspaper clippings, grainy video footage from personal recordings, screenshots of original match reports from reliable sources that clearly showed the goal and its attribution to Messi. They interviewed attendees who remembered it clearly. The evidence mounted, a chorus of voices affirming what they had seen, yet the official silence or the stubborn persistence of the erased record remained. It was a classic case of collective memory versus institutional memory, and the institutions seemed to be winning. So, why? This is the million-dollar question, the one that truly makes this story so unsettling. Why would FIFA or any football authority go to such lengths to erase a single penalty kick from Lionel Messi's record? The theories are, as you might expect, wild and varied. Some suggest it was a genuine, yet catastrophic data entry error that became too deeply ingrained to correct without admitting a massive oversight. Others point to a more cynical explanation. Perhaps it was part of a broader, politically motivated agenda. Maybe it skewed a particular statistical milestone that a rival player was close to achieving, or perhaps it complicated a narrative they were trying to build around another record-breaking player. It could even be something as mundane as ensuring a specific player didn't hit a certain number in a specific time frame for sponsorship or contractual reasons. Then the correction spiraled out of control. While no major journalists have risked their careers by unequivocally accusing FIFA of a deliberate cover-up for this specific instance, several football historians and statisticians have quietly acknowledged the discrepancy. They speak of the inherent fragility of historical records, even in the digital age. One prominent football historian, who preferred to remain anonymous due to the sensitive nature of challenging official narratives, once mused, the problem isn't usually malice, but oversight that becomes institutionalized. Once a mistake is in the official ledger, correcting it means admitting error, which large organizations are notoriously reluctant to do. It becomes easier to let the false narrative propagate. This echoes the sentiment that the truth, once buried, is incredibly hard to unearth, especially when powerful entities benefit from its concealment. The impact on Messi's overall legacy, it must be said, is negligible in the grand scheme of things. One goal in a career of over 800 hardly moves the needle on his GOAT status. His trophies, his assists, his countless moments of breathtaking genius, these are undeniable. But the principle of the matter is what truly bothers people. It's about the integrity of the game's history, the accuracy of its records, and the trust placed in those who curate them. If even a player of Messi's stature can have a legitimate goal retroactively erased, what does that say about the reliability of any official statistic? It gnaws at you, doesn't it? It suggests that even in a sport as globally celebrated as football, the story can be quietly rewritten, leaving the common fan to question everything. What do you think is really going on here? Drop your theories in the comments below. We read every single one, and some of the best insights come from this community. This mystery, despite all the fan investigations and anecdotal evidence, remains officially unresolved. FIFA has never issued a clear public statement acknowledging or explaining the discrepancy. The goal is simply not there in their curated reality. It exists in the fuzzy borderland between collective memory and official record, a phantom penalty kick that highlights the terrifying power of those who control the narrative. Lembret sombrio de que, na era da informação, que detém o controle dos dados e da narrativa pode, literalmente, reescrever o passado. Imagine por instante o que isso significa não só para gol, mas para momentos cruciais de jogo, para estatísticas de desempenho, ou até mesmo para a reputação de atleta. Não estamos falando de erro de arbitragem discutível no calor do momento, mas de uma edição pós-fato, fria e calculista, que altera registro para se adequar a uma conveniência que ninguém explica. Você já se sentiu assim? Quando sabe de algo, viu com os próprios olhos, mas a versão oficial diz o contrário. É uma espécie de dissonância cognitiva imposta que te força a duvidar da própria percepção. E se algo tão visível quanto penalty convertido por Messi pode ser apagado, o que impede que outras falhas, decisões questionáveis ou até mesmo vitórias sejam sutilmente ajustadas no grande livro da história do futebol. Essa é a questão que me consome. Não é o gol em si, mas a porta que essa ação abre para um futuro, onde a realidade factual se curva diante de quem tem o poder de editar. É por essas e outras que nos perguntamos, quantos outros gols fantasma existem por aí, escondidos nos cantos empoeirados dos arquivos digitais, esperando para serem descobertos? Se você já desconfiou de alguma história oficial no futebol que não bate com o que você lembra, compartilhe nos comentários. Sua memória pode ser a chave para desvendar algo maior. Se você também acredita que a verdade é mais importante que a conveniência e que o futebol merece uma história sem edições ocultas, deixe like e se inscreva no canal. É assim que mostramos que estamos de olho e que a voz da comunidade de fãs tem poder. Porque no fundo, a história do futebol pertence a nós, os torcedores, e não a uma entidade que se acha no direito de decidir o que é ou não real. This isn't just about a single penalty kick, it's a stark reminder that history itself, even in the most well-documented fields, can be a contested space. What we perceive as immutable fact can, with enough time and institutional inertia, be subtly altered, edited, or completely wiped away, leaving only the faintest echo in the minds of those who were there. The truth, in this case, appears to be a matter of perspective, a battle between what we remember and what we are officially told. And in that battle, the power of official records often trumps individual recollections, leaving us to wonder how many other small, yet significant pieces of history have simply vanished without a trace, never to be talked about again. And if you want to keep peeling back the layers of football's most intriguing mysteries, make sure you subscribe to Foul Play. You won't want to miss what we uncover next.